When all these pieces come together, the truth emerges. Years ago, a man painted a picture, an extraordinary painting full of mysteries. At the time, it was just a painting. But today, it is much more than that. The Mona Lisa. Who is this Mona Lisa? In which era did she live? What was hidden beneath her mysterious smile? We will get to those. But could exaggerating the Mona Lisa be unnecessary? Some people look at the painting and say, it's just a woman. Others believe that the painting is not merely a woman's portrait, but a work of art. The Mona Lisa was moved between different studios and completed over 16 years with fine details, created using the golden ratio. And within 500 years, it was stolen twice and once damaged with acid. These features make it unique. But that is not the only thing that makes it unique. The Mona Lisa is the model. This painting was the greatest summary of Leonardo's talent as a painter. Da Vinci, who created fewer than 20 paintings in his lifetime, is said to have hidden some secrets here, just as he did in The Last Supper. The encryption used in his notebooks and works makes us think. Leonardo wrote in reverse, so that his writings would not be stolen and would be difficult to read. He also arranged some of his most important notes in a mixed order. He combined locations and sections only in the way he wanted. This was a simple form of encryption. Looking at all this, you might call him paranoid, but perhaps he had to be. Pascal Cott wants to dive into the depths of the Mona Lisa, and he wants to do this in a reconstructed scanning environment with 240 million pixels, recording 13 wavelengths of light. Thus, the 4 layers of the painting were revealed using modern technology. Leonardo's preparatory sketch appears at the top, right, with infrared reflectography. The thinness of the paint layer and the traces of the canvas, it is fixed to appear at the bottom left with X-ray radiography. The successive paint layers and accidents during the drawing process appear at the bottom right with ultraviolet fluorescence light. And the final state of the painting, its current condition, appears at the top left. You can examine these at the end of the video link. However, as a result of previous examinations, some details were noticed. Now it's time to reveal the secrets hidden in the details. Researcher Stevenson and his team created an ultra-high-resolution copy of the painting and studied it for days. As a result, one day they noticed something just beneath the bridge on the right. When they looked a little closer, they saw that it was a figure. Figures numbered 7 and 2. Continuing their research, when the team zoomed in on Mona Lisa's eyes, they noticed faint lines appearing. When they looked more closely, they realized that in the right either was a letter L, and in the left had a letter S, clearly visible. The letters L, S, and the number 72 also appear. To find out what these mean, they investigate whether the landscape behind the Mona Lisa is real. They find a small town called Bobbio. It is clearly known that Leonardo had been there before. The medieval castle and the edges of the painting are very similar. On the right side, there is a winding river, high hills, and a stone bridge. Don't be surprised by the similarity of the bridge because, since it appears steep, it was drawn horizontally to look more comfortable. At least, this is how it is thought to have been done when we try to look through Leonardo's eyes. Things start to get interesting. Information that the bridge was restored after severe damage to the main arch during the flood of 1472 makes the number 72 meaningful. This is exactly Leonardo's era. I wonder whether Leonardo chose this number intentionally or if it was just a coincidence. It is not known why he added it, but it is known that everything Leonardo da Vinci drew or added had a meaning. What did the letters L and S mean to you? L could represent Leonardo, but what about the letter S? To find this out, we needed to research Leonardo's life a bit. Leonardo, during part of his life, took in the child of a poor family when he was 10 years old, young John Giacomo Orino, because of his mischief and bad behavior in later years. Leonardo da Vinci Salai, meaning little devil. According to many people, Salai was Leonardo's apprentice, his lover, perhaps all three, and the inspiration for his drawings. Leonardo reflects Salai in many of his paintings. Could he have had a relationship with him? For example, in this painting, the two are together. The purpose of the subject is unknown. However, this one-to-one portrait of Salai may contain interesting secrets, and that is what was thought. When compared with the Mona Lisa painting, the nose, chin, facial features, and smile were incredibly similar. Could this be a coincidence? We had never heard of Leonardo and a person named Mona Lisa, whose family we do not know for certain. Why and how? When I asked this question, it became clear that the answer was actually very close. In fact, the secret was exactly this. Although Leonardo was not initially interested in his apprentice, later he noticed the harmony between them, and they eventually became lovers. They knew it would cost them their lives, because at that time, homosexual relationships were kept secret. Leonardo and Salai had to hide this for a lifetime, and they did. But Salai wanted Leonardo to show that he was the only person worthy of recognition. Perhaps Leonardo wanted this too. He could not do it openly, but there was only one way: to bring Salai to life in the most perfect way under a different name and face, so he could show the value he gave him. For this purpose, he carried the painting with him constantly and secretly continued working on it in many studios for 16 years. It had to be perfect. The nose, facial features, all had to resemble each other, but not be recognizable. He made changes in some places and succeeded in completing this painting, which he worked on with great care. It could not be named Salai. Many people knew his nickname. Instead, he encrypted the name Mon Salai, meaning my little devil. Mona Lisa. Mon meant my. This is how Leonardo hid the great secret that could cost him his life, inside the Mona Lisa painting. And the letter S in the I, that's why it made sense. Even if this seems like a conspiracy theory, when the pieces are put together, the truth is that these were not the only secrets thought to be hidden in the painting. In my previous video, The Secrets of the Last Supper Table, you added Leonardo's mirroring method and hidden messages in this way. With your guidance, I want to show you some points that I intentionally skipped. For example, when the bread and hands in the Last Supper match musical notes, a melody whose meaning has not yet been solved emerges. Apart from that, the place where we think Leonardo hid himself with his own hand was one of the parts you asked me to show. However, the Illuminati was an organization founded in the 18th century. Da Vinci lived in the 15th century. But the one-eye symbol does not belong only to the Illuminati. It is known since the Torah and is thought to represent the Antichrist, later used by the Illuminati. Da Vinci, who was said to be non-religious and to make satanic references, was probably pointing to the Antichrist. If we flip the Mona Lisa painting the same way and bring it closer, the painting becomes three-dimensional and Mona Lisa looks at us. When we mirror the painting from its edge, we see a strange figure that seems to reflect leadership. As I said before, we did not create or imagine this. Leonardo did. What we are doing here is trying to find what Leonardo hid from different angles. Paintings like the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, Leonardo da Vinci proved to us that these are not just paintings. With his intelligence, mathematics, and philosophy, always aiming for perfection, he proved that he was a genius. Did he hide secrets, or are these just our own interpretations? Getting to know and interpret him this way reminds us that sometimes in life, we need to push our limits. Who knows? Maybe there are more secrets yet to be revealed. What do you see when you look at the Mona Lisa? If you want more videos like this, you can show me by liking the video. I am INTRV. I have many more secrets to uncover.